What's Up is a song Linda Perry wrote. It's got a lot of the same notes as Don't Worry. Be happy. Greetings, one and all, and welcome back to Tom's Hit Parade. By the way, I invite you to hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, share this video with your friends, and leave me your thoughts down in the comment section. I would really, really appreciate it. So today I am inaugurating a feature on my channel that I kind of had in mind for a long time. We're talking a couple of years, and I just never gotten around to doing it until now. It's a little feature I'm going to call Label Spotlight, and it's kind of an apt title for the feature. I'm just going to talk about a particular record label that I enjoy and that I've gotten a lot of albums from, and I've kind of developed a strong, sentimental attachment to, or some other deep appreciation for. I've got at least 4 labels in mind to do this with. Every couple of months, maybe we'll see how frequent I do this feature as it goes on. But the label in question today is a label called Private Music. And now, Private Music started back in 1984. It was founded by Peter Baumann, who you might recognize as being 1/3 of the classic lineup of Tangerine Dream, the ambient electronic band that started back in the 70s, I believe it was. And during most of its approximately 15-year lifespan, Private Music specialized in new age and other instrumental music. But they did briefly expand further into mainstream genres like pop and rock and blues in an attempt to broaden their appeal to sell more records, obviously. And isn't that the bottom line with record labels? So, yes, one of the first genres I really started to enjoy when I started listening to music was instrumental, electronic, and new age music. I kind of broadened from there. I kind of went into the contemporary jazz, or smooth jazz as it's called now, stuff, before I eventually made my way into mainstream vocal genres like pop and rock and etc. So it's one of the first labels that I really, really became attached to. And I don't know if any of you experience this like I do, but you buy 2 or 3 releases on a particular label and you say, okay, that's really good stuff. So you just start putting your feelers out more into that particular label. And so you look for the little logo on the CD spine, or wherever on the package. Actually, back in the day, CDs were sold in long boxes, which were cardboard boxes that were 12 inches high and the width of a CD. And because they hadn't developed CD specific shelving at the record stores yet, so in order to fit the record shelves, they had to put CDs in long boxes. But they had really cool kind of panoramic album art on the long boxes. Long boxes are a lost art, in my opinion. But anyway, uh, at various times during Private Music's lifespan, their roster included artists such as Ravi Shankar, Leo Kottke, Etta James, Ringo Starr, Taj Mahal, Police guitarist Andy Summers, and A.J. Croce, a son of the late Jim Croce. One of the most popular albums released on the label was Famous Blue Raincoat, which was a Leonard Cohen tribute album by pop singer Jennifer Warnes. So I've got an assortment of, and actually I think I've got every Private Music release here that I own. And I thought I would go through a few of them, or actually all of them, just to talk a little bit about them. And there you go. The first one. This is actually one of the most recent ones I picked up, but I believe it may have actually been their first release. It's by an artist named Sanford Ponder, and it's called Etosha, Private Music in the Land of Dry Water. So I'm kind of wondering if that's how the label Private Music got its name. And this one is not all that special to me, maybe just because I only recently picked it up. But yeah, it's interesting stuff. A lot of this stuff is, excuse me, the more ambient, atmospheric kind of electronic stuff that you put on in the background to listen to. But sometimes you'd have stuff that's a little bit more, has more of a beat, of a rhythm to it, something that commands a little bit more attention, such as Carlos Alomar. And you might recognize the name. This is his album Dream Generator, his only solo album, I guess you'd say. But yeah, Carlos Alomar is most famous for having worked with David Bowie. He played on more Bowie albums than any other musician, in fact. The song Fame, David Bowie's big hit, one of his big hits, resulted from an Alomar guitar riff. So that's kind of an interesting little trivia note for you. But yes, Carlos Alomar has also recorded with Paul McCartney, Cyndi Lauper, the Bee Gees, Alicia Keys, Iggy Pop, and Carly Simon, amongst many others. But yeah, this is one of the ones that I've had for quite a bit longer. Got a lot of kind of funky, jazzy type songs on here, like Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod. That's one of my favorites. Insomniac is kind of a weird, cool one. REM, I think, was another one that's interesting. And yeah, no relation to the band REM. It's just, rapid eye movement, the sleep state. But yeah, this one was a really, really good one. And I used to have more albums by this artist, but I just decided to kind of distill it down to a compilation of hers. And the label did this with several artists. They released albums called The Private Music of that particular artist. In this case, Suzanne Ciani or Ciani. I can't remember how her last name is pronounced. Sorry. But I believe I learned later on that Suzanne Ciani was kind of a pioneer in a way in electronic music. So, and obviously one of the most noteworthy female pioneers, along with, say, Wendy Carlos. So, yeah, this is an interesting, good album. Uh, most of her songs are piano centric, so piano or keyboards, and she's got some really good stuff. And every time I listen to this, I'm tempted to just go back and pick up her individual albums. And then we have this one is the one I most recently picked up, and just a few weeks ago, uh, Shadow of Urbano by Michael Colina. And I'm not sure if Michael Colina is noteworthy in any other way, but yeah, this is a really good one. Got some good, and this one actually is a little bit uh, more rock oriented than New Age. What you normally think of as New Age, the electronic instrumental stuff. So, but yeah, this is a really good one. Shadow of Urbano by Michael Colina. He put out one other album on the Private label, and I need to go looking for that one. I like this one. Private Music put out, as you will see later on in this video, albums by artists who were already established by other labels, one of them being Shadowfax. And this is Shadowfax's album, The Odd Get Even. I love the album title. And this is actually the first album by Shadowfax that I had ever listened to. I can't remember what the other. I think Windham Hill was the label that they were on previously. This is the one and only album they put out on Private Music, and this is one of my favorite Private Music releases. They have a little bit of world music in their sound, and yeah, this is one of those albums that, like, just about every song on it is wonderful in my opinion. The title song Oasis is really, really good. It's got I believe it has sitar on it, which some of you might know that my long-term viewers know that I have a little bit of a thing for sitar. I don't know why, but yeah, excellent album. And I've got a few artists. I've got several albums by. This is one that I enjoyed for a long time. His name is Jerry Goodman, and he has worked with probably the most famous for being a member of the Mahavishnu Orchestra. And he also recorded with Hall & Oates, Dream Theater, and Styx, among others. But yes, this is his first album on the future of aviation. And his instrument is electric violin, which, and I didn't realize until I started listening to him that electric violin was a thing. I had just assumed, okay, violin is just acoustic. That's the only violin there is. But yeah, he kind of proved me wrong on that. And this is his second Private Music album called Ariel. Great stuff. And he uses interesting time signatures on his songs. Kind of some of them are waltz time signatures, and some of the other ones are stuff that remind me of Dave Brubeck time signatures, kind of the skip a beat sort of things. So yeah, really good stuff. And my favorite Jerry Goodman song is Sarah's Lullaby. Listen to Sarah's Lullaby by Jerry Goodman. This kind of, in a way, it's kind of a sweet. It starts out with ballad type, a ballad type feel, then goes into a more of an upbeat, rhythmic almost a march sort of a thing, and then eventually, for its coda, goes back down into the ballad thing. Really, really good track. Private Music, as I mentioned in the intro to this video, they kind of delved a little bit into vocal music as well, pop and rock and stuff. one of my favorite. This is another one of my favorites. Probably in my top 3 favorite private music releases. It's a pop music duo called Bounce the Ocean, and I don't know what it was that I really really enjoyed about these guys, but great songs. It might it might sound a little cheesy if you've never listened to it before and you put it on now. So some of the its sound might be a little bit dated, but it is has always been and will always be a favorite of mine, a sentimental favorite, and some good lyrics in it too as well. But yes, all these songs have vocals in them, and yeah, "Scientists" is a great song. That's got some great lyrics in it, fantastic lyrics, and they have some good vocal harmonies in there as well, in addition to good instrumentation and all that. "Dry Your Eyes" is a great song, but yeah. If you find this one, some of these CDs could be in thrift stores. To me, it's sad that they ended up in thrift stores, but if you see this one in a thrift store, pick it up, listen to it. And one of the most famous artists that ever wandered onto the private label was Etta James, the classic, excuse me, the classic soul singer. And this is one of her last albums, Time After Time, an album full of re-recordings of or covers of pop standards. Love Is Here to Stay, The Nearness of You, the title track Time After Time, My Funny Valentine, Willow Weep for Me, Night and Day, Someone to Watch Over Me. Fantastic. I've got her very first album, At Last, and I've got this one, which was one of her final albums. This one was done in 1995. So, an excellent album. Let me take a drink here. My throat, as you probably noticed, was getting a little. Now we're getting into the 3 artists who may be my favorite, the ones that I have the most releases from on the private label. I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, Peter Baumann, the founder of Private Music, was a member of Tangerine Dream. Tangerine Dream put out 3 releases on the private label. This is their first one, Optical Race. And this one is really cool because the cover is die cut. So, yeah. Peekaboo. So, yeah, you can see it's very cool. And I actually have it on vinyl as well. I should have pulled out my records. I've got this one on vinyl as well, and the record sleeve, kind of like with Beck's Colors album, the inner sleeve, you can face it in different directions, so it has a different color pattern on the front. So it's very cool. If you are used to Tangerine Dream's classic stuff, the more ambient, atmospheric, longer, longer songs, longer length songs, their private music stuff is very different. So be warned. If you're a Tangerine Dream fan, you can expect something different if you have never heard their private music releases before. But they're my favorites, honestly. And I actually don't think I have anything other than their private releases. I just haven't gotten around to picking anything else up yet. But the title track Optical Race is great, and Atlas Eyes is another one. Uh, yeah, really good album. But I think one that is more my favorite than that one is their follow-up, Lily on the Beach. And I like the cover is kind of cool, kind of funky as well. And pretty much every song on this album just kicks ass. If you notice the track of the title of the first song, "Too Hot for My Chinchilla." I love funny, interesting song titles. Listen to that song; it kicks ass. Seriously, it's a great song. "Too Hot for My Chinchilla." And then another one of my favorites, probably my favorite Tangerine Dream song, is a piano ballad called 29 Palms. And it's essentially, actually, I think there's some ambient background sounds toward the end, but through most of the song, it's just solo piano. And it's gorgeous. 29 Palms is the name of that song. Let's see. What was the one? Oh, Desert Drive. That's another really good one. Mount Shasta, Blue Mango Cafe. This album is just loaded with great tunes. And then the one after that, on this one, they dialed back a bit more toward their ambient classic sound, and that was Melrose, their third private music release, and great selection of songs on this one as well. Melrose is great. Three Bikes in the Sky and Dolls in the Shadow. The first 3 tracks are my favorites on this one. But yeah, really, really good song, good album on there. Probably the most famous artist to come out of the private music label, went on to have tremendous success. I think his biggest success was with private music, and that person I'm talking about is Yanni. And I've got 4 of his releases. Now, the stuff that he's most famous for is, in my opinion, kind of snoozy and boring and very, very ballady. But his earlier stuff had a lot of life to it, and including on these 3 albums I'm going to show you. Out of Silence. Let's see, the song Point of Origin. I think that's the one. Yeah, Point of Origin. I actually use that as my wake up song for my morning alarm with Alexa. So yeah, that one's. It starts out kind of quiet and builds up into a kind of real dancing, not dancing, but kind of a real beat driven song. And that's what most of these songs are. And both these 3 albums, the stuff on these 3 albums has a pretty good beat to it. Sand Dance is a really good one. Street Level is another really good one. Standing in Motion. So yeah, I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend the stuff that he did after the year 1995, 97. After that stuff is just boring as hell. But these early albums are excellent. And perhaps the one that, yes, this album, Chameleon Days, this album has the song that really, really got me started on my new age kick. It's a song called Everglade Run. And back in the day in the Los Angeles area, there was a radio station called The Wave, 94.7 KTWV, and their thing was new age music. This was obviously when new age was at its height, at its peak of popularity. And I was listening to it one day, and the song Everglade Run came on, and I loved it. And I had to know who that was. Couldn't look it up on your phone back then. You had to really do some digging and find out who it was. But yes, I found out it was this guy on this album, picked it up, and I was off to the races with uh, my love affair with new age music. But let's see, Days of Summer is another a good song on this album. Uh, Walkabout, I think that was another really good one. And so yeah, this is the one that kind of got me started. And then his next private music release was called Niki Nana. And the title sounds kind of silly, but the title track, Niki Nana, We're One, that is a great song and possibly the only Yanni song to have vocals in it. And the vocals are in, I'm actually not, I was going to say it was in an African language, but now that I'm thinking, it may have been a nonsensical language that they just made to fit the lyrics. I can't remember. I'll have to do some looking up. But yeah, the song Niki Nana, the title track, is fantastic. Great. I mean, you talk about a dancey, uplifting, feel good song. Niki Nana is fantastic. If I remember correctly, this album, it's been a while since I've listened to it. This album sent Yanni on a bit of a world music path. He put some more world music sounds, ethnic sounds into the tracks on this album. Running Time, I think, was another good one. Nightbird, I believe, was really, really good. But yeah, give Niki Nana a try. And any of those 3 Yanni albums, give those a try. And then I've also got the one that is a thrift store staple, Live at the Acropolis. And yeah, this one is really good. It's got a symphony orchestra backing it. And I do like symphony orchestra music, so some kinds of orchestra music. But yeah, this one is really, really good. Um, yeah, if you're in the mood to try something a little different, it is not difficult to find this one at a thrift store. So, and that is Yanni. But then the artist that I have the most releases by on private music is a guy named Patrick O'Hearn. And he was really interesting when I finally read up on him on Wikipedia. I learned a lot about him that I didn't know. For one thing, he was actually raised in the Pacific Northwest, okay? A local guy, regional area, I guess. And he got started playing clubs in Portland. Now, he is probably most famous for working with Frank Zappa for about 2 years, and it was Frank Zappa who encouraged him to explore electronic music. And so he kind of went on from there. And from Zappa's band, he went on to co-found the new wave group Missing Persons, who put out a couple of albums. I have one of their albums in my vinyl selection. Excuse me. But yes, I've got his first 5 releases from Private Music, and I've actually got 2 or 3 that he put out after he left the label. So we've got Ancient Dreams. This was his first Private Music release. And gotta love the hair, huh? 80s hair. New wave pop artists' hair. Missing Persons hair. And yeah, and this album and the next one, Between Two Worlds, were a little bit more, your standard new age kind of, instrumental, slightly ambient kind of stuff. Not a lot of rhythm or anything to it. Not that it isn't good music. It's just a bit more, put it on in the background kind of music. But he started to change course with and this was actually the first album of his that I picked up. River's Gonna Rise. This was his third album, and here's where he started to put a little bit more rhythm into his songs and started with putting a little more world music and ethnic music and natural sounds in his songs. Homeward Bound is the opening track. That's really, really good. Reunion is another one that's excellent. Acadia, Portobello Locks, and yeah, those some really good stuff on this album. But perhaps my favorite of his releases is his follow-up from that one, El Dorado. The song Amazon Waltz. Love it. I absolutely love it. As you could probably guess from its title, it's got some nature sounds, some recordings of uh, animal noises and stuff in there, and very, very ethnic percussion in it. Love that song. I absolutely love that song. Nepalese Tango is another one. Black Delilah, One-Eyed Jacks, Hear Our Prayer. This one is just full of great, great songs. El Dorado by Patrick O'Hearn, great one. And then his final release on the private label, but not his final release overall, is called Indigo, and another great album. And he kind of delves a little bit further down the path of natural music, world music, that kind of thing. I'm the highlight songs on this album kind of escape me at the moment, but still, it is a very, very good album. I am happy to have a fairly extensive collection of Patrick O'Hearn CDs in my library. One of the artists that I have, one of the instrumental artists that I have the most albums by of any sort. And he got his big chunk of his career was on the Private Music label. Hi. I had to do a cut-in for another video too, so I figured while I was at it, I might as well do a cut-in for this video and show you my Private Music vinyl releases, which I forgot to show you when I did the main video. So here we have Optical Race by Tangerine Dream, and as you can see, the inner sleeve provided is has the color patterns on it, so you can interchange them. See if I can do it here while I've got the other one. So pretty cool, huh? Yeah, just kind of like the CD booklet is die cut also with the figure of the running man on it. So very, very cool. As well as Lily on the Beach by Tangerine Dream. Love this album. I wish I had a like 4x4 foot cover art of this, even though I wouldn't have anywhere to hang it in my room. But yeah, a great album as you saw in the main video. And here are 2 that I actually don't have on CD. This is It's Alive, which is a live album of Jerry Goodman's stuff. He did this one on Private Music as well. It is, as you can imagine, a collection of stuff, I believe, from both of his studio albums done in a live concert setting. Very, very cool. I really enjoy that one. And here's the one that I have had for by far the longest. I have had this since it came out back in 1989. I remember buying it. I'm pretty sure I bought it at Music Plus down in Southern California. I was lucky I had a Music Plus like half a mile from my house. So I was set. But anyway, Niki Nana, this is a 12-inch single release of Yanni's song Niki Nana, a remix by David Morales. It's got 4 versions on it, the Red Zone mix and the B-Boy mix on side A, and the private mix, which is my favorite, as well as a radio edit of the album mix on side B. Very, very cool. I love that song, as I mentioned, and yeah, great stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour of the label Private Music. Really, really good label. They didn't last for very long, only about 15 years. But as you can see, they are a very significant and meaningful part of my music library. At 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 16, 18, 21 releases I showed you. And that's not counting a couple of the releases that I have on vinyl. Anyway, that'll do it for this video. Be sure to like it if you liked it. And before you go, drop me some feedback in the comment section. I'd love to know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to catch my future videos, hit my username to browse my old videos. Links to my socials and my favorite fellow YouTubers are in the description below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember, life's too short to be a music snob.